I wasn't sure if I would get a chance to actually record this. And of course, I was very concerned to make sure that my heart came across. That's just a notice that I've got 10 minutes. So this is absolutely perfect that I'm going to set my focus to not disturb so that I can just speak to everyone, because I think this comes up not very often, but often enough. And it just is so important to me in so many different ways. So, a dear minister who I absolutely adore, she wrote to me personally about a personal situation that she was struggling with. She shared her heart with me. And I noticed that this happens, and it will happen even more in the future. And so this is why I'm going to be putting this, I think, in my question and answer. We'll see how my husband leads me. Because when you have the opportunity to have somebody's personal contact information, so you're not posting it out for everybody else, or it gets to an office and gets into the wrong hands. And I don't blame anyone for wanting to get and to talk to someone, because we're women. We love to talk about things like that. Unfortunately, because of my position in RMI, my years of having my husband, knowing him since I was 7 years old, and that is over 60 years because of my age. I'm going to be celebrating my 68th birthday this month. I don't blame someone for wanting to get my input, but here's the way that I look at it. When anyone asks me personally, an array of emotions and thoughts come into my mind. Okay, this is what my husband said. Just explain it this way. So sometimes when people ask me, let's say in my Uber, what does your husband do? I had to ask my husband, what am I supposed to say? What does my husband do? Because I do wear wedding rings. I'm not available. I'm happily, with my husband, who I've been with for all these years. And so when they ask me, and then I had asked him previously, I tell them that, he's a heart specialist, which absolutely he is. There's nothing that matters more to me and to the brides that I work with that he changes the heart. He turns the hearts of stones. He mends hearts. He gives us a new heart. Everything as a woman matters is the heart. We talk from our hearts. We listen from our hearts. That's the way he created women. And that's what makes us unique and special from men, and makes us his bride. So if my husband was a heart specialist and somebody came to get me alone or come to my back door, or just I'm walking someone, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And kind of, this is my situation. And they told me about their heart condition. And what would you suggest? What kind of surgery would you suggest, or medicine you would suggest, or bypass? It would seem a little like, wait, I don't know any of this. You should be talking to my husband. So, and the second part is that I think, well, if I have this, I don't know how to explain it, but if I have portrayed myself as knowing more, that also humbles me too, because I think, did I bring myself off that I'm an expert? I know. And so have I, in my arrogance, acted as if I'm as good as my husband who knows everything? My gosh, what is my problem? And so I bring that to my husband. He said, no, you haven't done that. You've continuously said, speak to your husband, meaning speak to him, not speak to me. Because here's the thing, if I give you a diagnosis, how would I even know? I have no idea. I don't know the background. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know, no matter how much you explain everything, who but the Lord knows more than even you know yourself. And bringing it to him too, or me answering you, it's a way of me having you be unfaithful to your husband. And I couldn't do that. It's very interesting. And I just love the timing of it because I've been watching a very old series that's from probably BBC, which is in British, so it's one, and it's about the war. And I just love the morals when you go back a little bit. But in the series that I just watched yesterday afternoon, my husband and I were watching while we were having lunch. In it, there was somebody from this man's past. He's the star of the show, whatever. He happens to be a police officer, but somebody he had met in college. He had proposed to her in college, but she has regretted it, comes to him on the side. But this is the part I love. He said, please don't talk to me about this. You have a husband and I refuse to be involved in this. You really need to leave. And he wasn't unkind. He was very loving, but he would just not engage in any sort of conversation. He didn't want to hear how she felt about him or the regrets that she had in her marriage or in anything else. That's kind of the way I feel. Don't talk to me. It makes me feel awful because you shouldn't be talking to me about these things. You should be talking to him. Now, we as women, I'm going to shift, love to talk about things, or maybe we're not 100% sure. In a situation, if you're not sure, have I heard this right? Am I crazy? This is what I've heard. Now, that's something that we women can say, oh, I'm sure that's what your husband meant when he said that. Or, no, I'm sure he didn't mean that. Do you see? That's a whole different thing than going and talking or looking for me for direction or advice or comfort or understanding or wisdom. All of that really needs, you need to go to your husband directly. If not, you're being unfaithful to him, and you're also causing me to be unfaithful to my husband. And the only reason that I'm still in my position today after, it's 33 years of ministering, is because of my faithfulness to him. I don't know that there's any other reason. I'm not qualified other than I have a husband who is. And I always say, if they come to the back door to speak to me, I say, go around to the front, go talk to him directly. He's waiting for you. He has all the answers. He'll comfort you. He'll guide you. He can even change the situation. I could never do that. No human on earth could ever do that. Also, he will do it in such a way that, I don't know, just being around him, you'll change. And that's what my whole ministry is about, is for you to have everything I have, because you really, really deserve that. So I hope that you'll take this to heart. I hope that if someone approaches you for advice or guidance, that you step aside and introduce them, reintroduce them, or guide them back to their husband, who can really, really help them and change them and comfort them and give them everything they need, and so much more. So thank you for listening. And I really appreciate this opportunity to share my heart with you.